Yes, we got to hit that record button. That's the whole idea, right? See, I told you anybody can do this. So anyway, thank you all for being here tonight. And as I was saying before, our backgrounds are similar but different. My perspective comes from the area of pharmacy. I'm a doctor of pharmacy. I also have a background in molecular biochemistry. For me, it's been about being the backward pharmacist my whole career. I started off taking a lot of chemistry and understanding balancing the body from the cell out. And then when I went to pharmacy school, sometimes I struggled a little knowing what some of the medications did. And there are times when they're necessary and they're helpful. But I always knew that there was going to be some better answers. And I'm here to tell you that today we're super excited because we have seen some new tools, some new things that are helpful, and we're both so grateful. So I'm Dr. Nancy Bryan, as I said before. I have with me Dr. Melody Rodarte, and both of us are here in Arizona. And Melody, why don't you go ahead and tell them just a little bit about yourself?
I'm so excited to do this with you, Nancy. I'm a physician in Arizona. I am double boarded in internal medicine and obesity medicine, and absolutely love helping people stay healthy and out of the doctor's office. It's quite a line to hear. Most people don't hear that when they go see the doctor. And so I'm excited to share this platform with Nancy tonight because in my training, we had a clinical pharmacist on our team most of the time. And I found the benefits of that because during medical school, the pharmacist teaching the first class was like, there's no such thing as a free lunch. There are always side effects that you have to know about. And so we felt blessed during our training that we had always a clinical pharmacist because the patient always won. And so I love that I've been able to network and continue. And this company has brought, incredible people into my life. And so sharing tonight with Nancy is just a part of that because we're always texting back and forth with different things on different diseases, health journeys, especially this past year and everything. So welcome tonight. I'm excited for you all to learn about some items that can continue to help you on your health journey if that's why you're on.
Mute. And so let's get started. We'll go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get this up and running and be able to see. First and foremost, can you see this? I want to make sure everybody can see and hear me. Oops. And there we go. I'm already off and running to my not good space. I don't know what it is about me and technology that ends up being such a disaster. But let me see if I can get back. Can you all hear me? Can you hear me, Melody?
Yeah, you're fine. We'll go back to, did you hit share screen yet?
Well, you know what? I did, but I don't know for some reason what happened. So let's try it again. There we go. All right. And let me get back up to the beginning if I can, and then we'll start this slideshow. All right. Oh my goodness. I don't know why it keeps going to the bottom of the slideshow. I apologize, everybody. Bear with me. Again, like I said, I practice this and practice and all week long.
Nancy, before you hit play, click on the first slide.
There we go. Got it.
More.
Now we're making progress. So first and foremost, the company that we're here tonight talking about is Lifevantage. And both Melody and I came to this company in different ways. For me personally, it was a personal journey. I had some severe illnesses, and thanks to a surfer telling me about this company, I was able to look into it more, and we'll talk a little bit more about that tonight. But what I love about this company is the fact that, you know what, I have always been a pioneer. I've always been kind of on the cutting edge of things. And when I found out about this company and what they were doing, I got so excited because it was something I had been looking for throughout my career. And so we're going to talk about that just because we always have to stay legal. I always like to have proper disclosures that we don't ever say that we're going to treat, mitigate, or cure, or that you're going to become a multi-gazillionaire from this. So we want to make sure that we put that out there. But first and foremost, what we do want you to know is what started this company was the fact that it began with a single question in the lab. And the single question was a question I had all through school, and I would bet if I asked Melody, she had the same question. And that was, you know what, is declining health something that we have to accept? Is it something that we have to know? I mean, when I was in school learning, we were told that in genes of our body, that there were only just a very small percentage that we could change, that there was maybe 2 or 3% we could change through things. And this is a long time ago. But I can tell you what I loved to know is that that thought process has changed. And that discovery, we found out, was that the genes contained incredible abilities that we can use to keep our bodies healthy. And Melody, I'm going to call on you a minute because I'd like to know, you went to school a little bit later than I did. What were the thought processes on this whole gene question when you were in school?
The same. So I was, we talked about how this was interesting to us when it was presented, and that was it. I wanted to know what we could do to help our genes. And I would say in the past 5 years is when we've really realized, maybe between 5 and 10 years, to change gene expression. There's only about 3 to 5% of our genes that we cannot change. But that means over 95% of our genes, we have the ability to help them express correctly.
And that's exactly right. That's what we saw in this science. And that became, for those of us that focus and are so really intrigued by science, that was a really big deal to us to know that there was actually the means that if your parents grew up and they had arthritis and they had all these different things going on with them, that maybe we weren't stuck with that. And so that's what actually helped form this company, to be able to continue that research and know that there actually were going to be things that would help with gene expression. And then they wanted to be able to share this with the world. So basically the company, just for a brief history, it actually started with a product that they knew was going to have a huge impact on people, and they started selling it in 2003. And then they had an investigative report, and I don't know about any of you, but if you've ever seen any of those investigative reports, they don't usually end well, right, Melody? They're usually out there to expose people. And what we saw in this ABC primetime investigative report was just the opposite. John Quinones actually took part in what they were doing, and he took the product and they tested it. And you know what? When they showed his results on this thing called oxidative stress, which we'll talk about in a few minutes, that was a huge, huge amount of information, and a lot of universities and medical centers saw this report. And when they saw the results that happened in him, that really led to a huge attention, and that started a whole lot of research that other people were doing. Not just our company, but other people were requesting these products from them to do the research on. And so what happened from that point on is they knew that they had something that was really important, and that it needed to be, the story needed to be told. And it just sitting on those shelves in GNC and in CVS and in the health food stores, nobody was getting that story told. And so they finally made the decision to see if it would make sense to go with direct sales, telling person to person so they could get the story out. It began by talking about activation and by talking about something called theories on the health decline. What theories they thought created aging. And so what we might want to do here is, Melody, as a physician, why don't you tell them a little bit about what you see in terms of oxidative stress in this first theory of aging?
Yeah, and so this is incredibly important for us to know that term oxidative stress. If you haven't heard it before, I'm hoping that this is one of the terms that you will go ahead and look up. But our bodies are constantly bombarded by oxidative stress. It's the wear and tear that's happening. And usually what we've only known about are antioxidants up until this point. So there's more than just antioxidants that we can take. And over time, unfortunately, our body doesn't make as many antioxidants. So it's important for us to figure out a way to regenerate that and encourage our body to release antioxidants, because each and every cell is affected. And you can see on the graph right there on the right side, I mean, every organ system is affected by oxidative stress. And what we want to do is reduce it so that we can slow down the impact that it's having on the aging process.
And so, you know what, as time goes on and as we get older, the biggest problem we have is that antioxidant production that we have that helps take care of our bodies starts slowing down. And so what we see is the ability then for when we take a look at what are some of the causes of this oxidative stress, and maybe some of the things that we might be able to take a look at so that it's not building up so much in our system to begin with as we're aging. As you can see here, look at all the things that are included in what causes oxidative stress in each of these systems. And if you notice, look down here, medications. That was one of the biggest things that I always struggled with, is here we are trying to take medications for so many of these issues, and yet at the same time, that's something that can cause even more oxidative stress and damage in our cells. And look at all the other things that we're faced with today. We're faced with everything from, you know, in the past we knew about diet and we've known about smoking, but gosh, now today we have all these wireless signals. Another thing a lot of people don't know is that when you do rigorous exercise, and a lot of people get very fit today, and they don't understand that as you get older and older, your body has a harder time keeping up with rigorous exercise. But all of those play a part in creating a buildup, if you will, of something called free radicals inside our cells that create problems in all of these systems that we have. So one of the things that I like to do is I would like to play that ABC video real quickly, just because I think that it's very beneficial for people to see where the company started and what happened with John Quinones and what led to all this research to begin with. So let's see if I can get this to play.
You want to get an edge on turning back the clock? Who doesn't? Well, it's no longer science fiction, but science possibility, a potential breakthrough. It may not look like the fountain of youth, but inside this nondescript building, I'm about to become part of an exciting experiment. For me, it begins with a blood test.
It wouldn't be the first time I've given blood for this company.
They want to check my levels of something called T-bars, which is a rough indicator of a person's actual age. T-bars can identify a condition known as oxidative stress, a kind of measure of the wear and tear on our bodies. Oxidative stress, like the rusting of an engine, is not a good thing. The problem of aging begins with the very food we eat to give us energy. As our cells burn that food, they also release toxic chemicals. Those chemicals, you may know them as free radicals, react with all the components of our cells, literally bombarding them millions of times per second, damaging all our cells. The result? Oxidative stress, and we all have it. The body fights back with a system of defenses. It makes two antioxidant enzymes, catalase and SOD, whose job is to gobble up the free radicals before they can harm our cells.
So, doctor, how often do I take these?
And so, here I go. With that swallow, I've just become part of a potentially landmark scientific experiment. It's called Protandim, and tests have already shown that it revs up the manufacture of those good enzymes in our bodies. More enzymes, fewer free radicals to harm us. Normally, oxidative stress, measured by those T-bars, increases with age, but taking just one pill of Protandim a day reversed that trend for everyone at every age, even for an 80-year-old. So just what's in this seemingly incredible pill? Well, actually, its roots are very humble. Protandim is a combination of 5 plant ingredients. Some you may know: green tea, or turmeric, a spice used in Indian cooking. Others, with Thania somnifera and Silybum marianum, are more exotic. High oxidative stress is associated with more than aging. It's been linked to hundreds of illnesses.
It's at the very center of many diseases: liver disease, diabetes, emphysema, asthma, all of these, strokes, heart attacks.
Even mental disease.
Yes,
Depression?
Alzheimer's disease, depression.
But what about my progress? After nearly 2 weeks now, it's time to get my results. The result? My level of oxidative stress has declined dramatically. Just look at where I fall on the graph, before and after. Have we turned back the clock? Maybe not on the outside, but deep inside within my cells. Yes, indeed.
We do know that oxidative stress is part of those disease processes. I don't want to wait until I'm 80 years old and find out that I should have taken it.
The company that makes Protandim says its tests show the pill, made from ingredients used for centuries, is absolutely safe. For more, go to our website at abcnews.com.
All right. Let's see if I can get to the next slide. Yay. And so as you can see that a lot of people saw that. And you know what? It was one of those things that a lot of people took note. And because of that, a lot of people contacted the company and wanted to take a look at what was going on with this product. As a result of that, at this point in time, we have over 25 peer-reviewed journal publications. In fact, I think there's more than that now. But the important thing for me as a person that had been part of a pharmaceutical company and pharmaceutical industry who reviewed these journals, who helped write these peer-reviewed studies, and who also explained those to doctors, one of the things that struck me the most was all the different areas that this product was involved with. And that's because it wasn't like a medication where you take this for this and this for this, all these different things. This was helping our body's overall wellness to optimize. And when you take a look at the different places, for me, it really boggled my mind when I first took a look at this. The American Heart Association, Molecular Aspects of Medicine, Journal of Physiology, dietary supplementation and sports science. It was so many different areas. And Melody, you know what, when you took a look at some of these peer reviews, what were your thought processes?
You know, the same. So when I looked at this just over 6 years ago, there were only 16 peer-reviewed articles. When I couldn't believe it because, you know, technically I usually tell my patients, bring me what you're on and I will look them up. And it was the first time that I could type in Protandim by its name in PubMed and see journal articles that were done not by the company itself. So it definitely surprised me, I'm not gonna lie. And it excited me at the same time because I thought, this is real. Like I can actually read, you know, and figure out what is happening with using this product.
Absolutely. And I know for myself, the first thing that was brought to my attention was this Louisiana State University study, because I was going through some major health issues, and a surfer, remember I said that, a surfer shared this with me, not a doctor, not a science person, a surfer. He asked me to take a look at that study. When I saw that it was real, it really blew my mind because of two things in particular. One, it had a branded, patented nutritional product that was being studied in it. That is almost unheard of for it to be. There's a lot of studies out there that'll have different nutrients where they're looking at, you know, maybe a specific ingredient within something, but not to have a branded product. And second, to me, was the fact that I was in awe of what they were actually studying. They were taking a look at melanomas in rats, and that was a particular issue for myself and the surfer. So when we took a look at that, it really opened my eyes. And then for me, one of the biggest questions I always have was, for me, taking a look at a product like this, I could see what they were saying that it was doing. It was going to help with this NRF2 pathway. That pathway is responsible for antioxidant production. So I was very excited about what this product was able to do. I loved how it had these 5 different ingredients that I was familiar with individually, but the fact that they were blended together, I was seeing things that you don't normally see happen. And when you take a look at the benefits from it, the key was this oxidative stress we've just been talking about. I had never seen anything lower oxidative stress by that amount in that period of time, by 40% in 30 days. And today we still do not see that. This product really does have an impact on it. And because of that, we see huge increases in our own antioxidant production. That pathway starts up, and when it's fired back up, we see glutathione increase by 300%. That's just unheard of. It really is a big deal. And we also saw the body's natural ability to repair and rejuvenate its own cells. That's what this talk is talking about, supporting the natural detoxification process and producing these enzymes that are going to help reduce oxidative stress by a great amount because it's neutralizing so many free radicals. But for me, the biggest question was, okay, how are they actually making sure that this product is predictable? That is a really big, important thing because pharmaceutical chemicals can be reproduced over and over synthetically, and it's not that difficult. Yeah, they have quality controls, but it's not that hard to reproduce it. But when you're taking plant parts from all over the world in different environments and all those things, for me, it was really important. And you'll see in here, see how there's the banned substance control group, that BSCG, that little teeny tiny gold seal down there, and this NSF. The quality controls that they go into that make this product predictable so that every single time that little tablet is going into somebody's body, they can expect these same results. That is a huge, huge deal. That's when I really got excited about it. Melody, what are your thoughts?
No, I completely agree with that. I needed to see those seals of approval because I thought, well, if I first was thinking about my son and his health. And so I thought, well, I want to make sure that this has quality control because we know that, there isn't as much as we would like to see in some products. So I was very happy to see those seals of approval. And I was also excited to see that there was a natural way for us to increase antioxidant production in our own bodies, that this pathway was very incredible. And we wanted to learn how to activate it.
Absolutely. And I think one of the things too that we get excited and talk a lot about is because somehow when that pathway gets activated, it does it in a pulsatile fashion with biofeedback. That means the body's allowing for that balance in chemistry that I talk about all the time. So just to kind of make it a little bit more clear and easy to see, when we take a look, we aren't telling you don't eat blueberries and fruits and all those kinds of things. The problem is that when you eat out fruits and vegetables and those sorts of things, those outside antioxidants can only reduce free radicals one at a time. It's a 1-to-1 ratio. When we're dealing with the synergy of the 5 ingredients in Protandem, what you see is the ability to reduce that oxidative stress by so much because those 5 active ingredients are activating our own body, millions of free radicals at a time. And not only that, but it's over and over. They're not done. They don't neutralize it and go away. They keep repeating over and over. That's a significant difference in terms of what happens to reduce that oxidative stress. All right. Uh-oh. What happened? There we go. And then just to give you a clear idea, a lot of people will bring this up. Melody, why don't you explain this chart?
So a lot of people wanted to say, I'm already taking green tea or milk thistle. Is that enough? Can I just add, the other ingredients? And I want to say that the neat part about this is that when you take it as Protandem, you're seeing it activate 18 times more effectively than taking it separately. So all of those ingredients are NRF2 activators. But as Nancy had said earlier, there's really not another product like this that has so many peer-reviewed studies. It has over 7 patents on this, international and domestic, because they were able to take this blend and show that it does something different than taking each individual ingredient by itself. And so I like showing this, and I don't know about you guys, but I'd rather take 1 pill than 5 pills. And so I really love this slide because I can see that the effectiveness of taking it as Protandim versus trying to figure out which part of the extract and which brand I want to take. The work has already been done and patented through Protandim. I'd rather just take this tablet.
Awesome, awesome. That's exactly right. And you know what? When you take a look at how important is this NRF2 pathway, for me personally, when I knew about the product and some of the studies that were happening, this is the one that really had a huge impact on me. This is the conclusion from Washington State University. NRF2 may well become the most extraordinary therapeutic, most extraordinary preventative breakthrough in the history of medicine. This isn't this decade or this century, it's the history. And that's because for the first time, we're getting to the root causes of what can create some of the problems in our body. The NRF2 pathway is the master regulator for detoxification. It's the master regulator for inflammatory processes and for cytoprotection. That's what keeps our cells healthy. And today, that's a really important thing. So when we take a look at the NRF2 pathway, that is the first theory of aging that we see, that we know it's sort of an accumulation of trash, if you will, in the cell that leads to breakdowns of the cell. And that was the first theory of aging. But there was another theory of aging that has really become very prominent, and that has to do with mitochondrial decline. Melody, why don't you go ahead and share a little bit about that?
Yeah, so as we age, unfortunately, our mitochondria, they don't repair as well. And if you think back to junior high, you probably just think of drawing, something that might be there on the right-hand side, like a circle with a squiggly line, and you just remember ATP and energy. But it's even more than that. Our mitochondria are responsible for not only producing power that make our cells function, but they hold genetic information as well. And it's just incredible what we are learning in medicine in the past 5 to 6 years. I know in my internal medicine boards, we're talking about that importance of mitochondrial biogenesis. And you can see that word there in that middle solution area, because we want to learn how to repair our mitochondria and how to produce mitochondria that are healthy. And that's called mitochondrial biogenesis. And unfortunately, with time, as we're talking about, the function of our mitochondria to repair and rejuvenate decreases. So we need to find a solution to help our mitochondrial function.
Absolutely. And you know what? That's what I love the most, is that the ingenuity of this company and what they decide to do is, you know what? They want to get to that second theory of aging. So they came up with our Protandim NRF1. That pathway responsible for mitochondrial biogenesis. And again, taking 5 ingredients that they knew had impact on mitochondrial health and blending them to work together. And as a result of it, look what we see: increase in cellular energy while slowing cellular aging. And that's by supporting chromosome integrity. I don't know how much of the science you pay attention to nowadays, but chromosome integrity is a really huge thing today. It's the breakdown of some of those chromosomes that are creating so much of the damage that we see in disease states. And so that's a huge ability to be able to help our cells. And look at this. Of course, when that happens, we see improved sleep and cell repair. And the biggest thing is that it goes to help our brain health, our cognitive function, our circulation, and our cardiovascular system. So we're addressing a lot of different parts in our body with this mitochondrial health. And again, notice we have that same 2 seals, knowing that we've got the sweet parts of the ingredients. We know through chromatography and through technology that when we're making this product, it's going to be made the same over and over again, so we can expect those same results. So the third theory of aging we have is something that has to do with something called sirtuin activity. And I know this is a lot of chemistry, so I don't want to get real bogged down in it. But the bottom line is, in the third theory of aging, they know and understand that the body starts building up waste and it starts backing up and slowing down. And so a lot of you have probably heard a little bit recently about a lot of people doing things like intermittent fasting. And the whole purpose of them doing things like intermittent fasting is to help with this sirtuin activity, because this response is the responsible process for a lot of our health benefits, everything from energy to motivation to mood to cardiovascular health and healthy DNA function. Again, we're getting down to the gene level of the cell and wanting to have a healthy immune response and a healthy inflammatory response. Well, that's what we hear so much of today. And what people always don't understand is we need to have inflammation in our body off and on to help heal. What we need it to be, though, is a healthy response. We need it to be off and on where it's needed, not to be running rogue and out of control, attacking things that shouldn't be attacking. And that's a lot under the control of these things called sirtuins. So as we age, that sometimes gets a little out of whack. Well, in fact, a lot of times as we age, it gets worse and worse. And so what we wanted to be able to do was see, is there some way that we can help take care of this sirtuin activity? And Melody, why don't you go ahead and talk to them a little bit about our NAD?
Yeah, so NAD is very helpful for our sirtuins to work, to function. NAD is needed for a cell to survive. And so our NAD synergizer is doing just that. It is a pathway that's responsible for helping sirtuin activity. And in the middle, you're gonna see some incredible ingredients, again, natural ingredients. And our goal here is to support healthy longevity, to improve mental focus and concentration, to support a positive mood and motivation. Who doesn't want any of these items here on the right-hand side? But as Nancy was talking about, supporting healthy inflammatory response is needed. You need that so that the body, it's like it lights a little fire to say, hey, there's a problem here. And the cells then can migrate there, can put out the fire. There's checks and balances. That's needed. What we don't want is for that fire to go unchecked. And so we want to support the body's natural response here. We also need really good cholesterol levels. Cholesterol is needed for hormone production and so many things. So a lot of people say, oh, cholesterol is bad. No, we want a good balance. And that's what sirtuins can help with. And then, of course, we want a healthy vascular system because it's working. It's bringing everything to each organ that needs to be, whether it's removing waste or taking, good nutrition there. So we need to support our vasculature. And so this NAD synergizer is doing that as well and is working in conjunction with the rest of the body.
Awesome. I know that with both of us, we had a lot of experience with NRF1 and NRF2, and I know both of us were very excited when NAD was added. And so what did we come up with? That ended up being our product pillars of putting together these three incredible products of the NRF1, the NRF2, and this NAD. And we call that our tri-synergizer. And I don't want to get into the deep science here, but these are genes that are expressed through the NRF2, the NRF1, and NAD. And as you can see here, each of these individual products help with those things. But look what happens when they're all put together. I like the blue lines a lot better than the gray lines. I just love the fact that we're seeing an 800% increase in that NRF2 gene. That's a detoxification and ability for our body to have that healthy response for that inflammatory things we were talking about. So that's why it's so important. All three of them working together. And you know what? Sometimes people say to me, oh my gosh, I got to take how many pills do I have to take? But if you knew and understood how many things this is replacing cabinets full of lots of different supplementations by blending them together and having them work perfectly together. And so just to review real quick, the NRF2 Synergizer is going to be for the oxidative stress and activating the antioxidant production. The NRF1 Synergizer is the mitochondrial theory to activate mitochondrial health and to help deliver our support for our mitochondria and to keep them operating for our ATP to be generated properly. And then our sirtuin, our NAD Synergizer, and having our sirtuin activation is going to really help with healthy longevity. And who cares how long you live if you're not healthy? You want to be able to be up and active and doing some things. You know what? We have several other products that have been put together as well. Get back with the person who invited you tonight and they can go over some of these. I know with both Melody and I, we both love the Axio for brain health and giving us that proper brain energy. And of course, we can't forget our little pets. We have a pet product, the only NRF2 product for dogs, which is incredible. So make sure you're getting back with the person that invited you and they can go more into detail about how we have a great, clean, healthy hair care system and skin care system. So we're adding less trash as we're trying to take out more of it, correct? And then one of the last things we want to talk about real quick is our newest product, our Daily Wellness. And both Melody and I got super excited about this because both of us have had so many people coming to us and saying, gosh, there's so much information out there. How do I know what to take in terms of trying to help my own immune system to be up and operating properly? And there's 3 different parts to our immune system that are important. And what I love is that this Daily Wellness addresses all 3 of those. Currently, I don't know that there's another product on the market that does that. And that's really exciting because it's in a powder form. We have zinc, a small amount of vitamin C, some vitamin D, the elderberry, and the fermented yeast. Oh my gosh, I could go on and on about that. That's our postbiotic. That's what's helping our body in terms of having a proper gut so that we can take and metabolize and utilize all these different things we take in. And that's really important in strengthening your immune system. And you know what's so cool is it's in a jar. So it's a powder and you can just put it in a little glass of water. So you're hydrating yourself. You don't have to have another 15 bottles of things. You have the proper amount of what you need and you can use it for your whole family. Melody, did you want to touch on anything on that?
No, I just think it's incredible that we have something to support immune health. And so many people have been asking, what can they do? They've heard these terms, majority of these terms on this slide this past year, and to have something that's easy for them to do daily. So this isn't mega doses. That's not what we're trying to do. This isn't when you get sick, you mega up dose with these. This is something that I love the name, Daily Wellness. We're trying to support our immune system here on a daily basis, because that's our line of defense, is having an incredible immune system that can say your friend or foe, your enemy, you know. And so this is important. And I love, for those of you who don't love making an incredible protein shake in the morning, I will tell you this is great to add because of the flavor. It has that elderberry, kind of almost like an acai type of flavor. It's wonderful for that because I know, like for my kids, I don't have to put like berries in there that then increase sugar amount and, you know, calories. You can add a scoop of this and it's incredible to do every morning, as well as people who don't like to hydrate. They can add this and now your water doesn't taste like, you know, plain water. And you're having more than just the benefits of hydration in it. So it is an incredible product. And for those of you who haven't heard of a postbiotic, look it up after this webinar. You'll be amazed with what it can do for you.
I absolutely love it. And it tastes great. It really does. And so, you know what? One of the things we want to just touch on kind of in closing here is that the stories that we tell are what help people to understand what we have. We can go through all this science, but really, truly, it's you sharing those stories with people and letting them know what's happened for you when your body starts to optimize. that's when people will really start paying attention and listen. And so one of the things that we wanted to just share real quick is why both Melody and I decided to become part of Lifevantage as distributors, is because, you know what, there was so much information in terms of studies, and we felt really compelled because there's so many products out there not backed by as the kind of science we have. And look at today, oxidative stress that's being looked at. You know what, back in the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, nobody talked about it. And I think part of that was because they didn't really have a true answer to help it. But we now do know, and so there's more and more research looking. So it's an exciting time to be part of something that you can actually see, and you can see the uptick there of how many studies now that they're looking at this NRF2. And the second thing is, look at when you're taking a look by category, what are people looking at? This was even before all the last year's pandemic. Everybody is taking a look at wellness. This is all about taking a look at, compared to all these other care, you know, clothing, leisure, all those things, people are wanting to take care of themselves. And for me, that was a really big, important thing to take a look at and say, you know what? I'd love to be part of something that's going to help worldwide be able to help make a difference and really helping see changes for people so that they're heading toward wellness and being proactive instead of having to be reactive and recovering, right? To me, this was a perfect meld too, in terms of being able to do it from home. Gosh, that's one thing that we've all seen over the last year, isn't it? To be able to do this from home or anywhere with my phone. It doesn't matter if I'm at my grandchildren's in Kentucky or if I'm here in Phoenix, wherever I am, we can do this. We have social sharing to get information out. And I love that we don't have to have a huge inventory. And personally, it's like we have our own personal online store. So whether or not this is something that you want to be part of, please consider at least taking a look at the products. If you want more information, get with the person that brought you here. And you know what, we'd love to have you become a customer. And you know what, if you're so compelled and you're looking for something else to be able to do from home, we can tell you that we have a great team of people in the community that we're involved in. We all love each other, support each other. And I will tell you, I think it's the very best part of this. I absolutely love being able to get together with people like Melody and the rest of us. Just enjoy helping each other and having that as a mission. So it makes for a great team. And you know what? We really appreciate you taking the time tonight. And Melody, any closing thoughts on your part?
No, this was just wonderful to be able to share together. I hope that you've learned all something to help with your overall health and wellness. This is just an incredible opportunity for you to just learn about things that can promote health. I think that's so important this past year. And it's funny that that curve that Nancy showed, it, you know, in 2018, it was already trending up. I would love for them to put a 2021 and show how that goes, as well as having a home-based business or, you know, a side gig. I have truly enjoyed growing this and helping others because as Nancy alluded to earlier, you know, I can only see so many patients in a day, but by being a part of a company and part of, you know, that I can do these types of webinars as well as, you know, we can't do as much speaking live. It seems like, well, I'm excited in the next few months to get back to doing that, but we get to help others stay healthy and out of the doctor's office. If you heard me say that earlier, I mean, who hears that? We're all wanting to do that. And so if you're someone who gets excited when you know about something that can help another person, this is the perfect thing to share. And for those of you who are just thinking about, you know, this person and that person, names are clicking in your mind, this is perfect to share because we all need health. That is something you can't buy back. And a lot of us, we don't want to put a Band-Aid on it. We want to prevent it before it needs a Band-Aid. And these are great products to do, you know, your due diligence and see, and the fact that you can go to PubMed tonight and see that word Protandim pop up. It's there for you to enjoy reading.
Absolutely. Well, thank you all so much for being part of it tonight. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording and maybe answer a few questions if people have any questions tonight. But thank you so much for being here. And we so appreciate each and every one of you.